Joining us now are two people with experience in moderating presidential debates, Bill Hemmer and Martha McCallum, the co-hosts of America's Newsroom.
How are you, Howie?
So,
Good morning,
Bill,
Howie.
doing great. Beautiful morning here on Long Island. For all the policy arguments and fact-checking that surround these debates, don't the media tend to cover them when they're over as a couple of signature moments like that one with Ronald Reagan?
I think so, and especially based on history and over time. I was making the point earlier today, don't underestimate the value of just a really good one-liner that actually is done in a way that's filled with humor, and you can really leave a lasting impression that way.
Yeah. Well, from what we hear, Donald Trump is hoping that that's the case and that he'll have a couple of those that people are talking about after this debate is over. The Trump campaign has put out the message that in some ways they hope that Hillary sort of rambles on about policy for a long time. We know that she's been hitting the books hard. But that is not his strength. It never has been. And he has made it very clear that as president, he would plan to sort of deal with things as they come. So whether or not he's going to get stumped on a foreign policy question and be out of his depth in any way, and that could also create that kind of moment, Howie, and that's what the Trump campaign is trying to avoid. Right.
It was fascinating for me to go back and look at, nobody remembers that President Carter was hammering then former Governor Reagan about Medicare. Everybody remembers. There you go again. Now, you both moderated presidential debates, including this cycle during the primaries. How far, there's this great debate raging in our profession. How far should Lester Holt go in trying to hold the candidates to the facts or fact-check them in real time? And in a general election debate, is that really the moderator's role?
I think Lester Holt has to make that decision. What our intention was in Cleveland a year ago and then Des Moines last January was to ask the question and get out of the way. Unless there was some sort of glaring absence that we noted in the answer, that was our intent. I was reading an article earlier today, Jim Lehrer, who's done his fair share of these presidential debates. He said, go to the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror, and repeat 3 times, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's not about me. And I think if you live by that rule, I think you're, as a moderator, once it's over, you're going to be viewed in a better light. That's my sense.
But it's difficult because as a journalist, when there is something that's glaringly inaccurate, there is that need to clarify it for the people at home who are watching on TV. So that, he's obviously a very experienced journalist and reporter. So that's the line that you have to walk. I think it can be walked well by people who do it well, and I expect Lester Holt will probably do that.
I mean, is it different, Martha, when you're doing a primary debate and there are 10 candidates on the stage, and you have a little more leeway to say, well, you said that, Mr. Trump, Governor Bush, and so forth, but here's what you said 6 months ago. Here we have the 2 nominees who, frankly, ought to fact-check each other if they think falsehoods have been uttered.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I expect they will. I mean, they've obviously been practicing. Donald Trump has said that he's not really doing the kind of actual run-through where you stand behind podiums and do that. We know Mitt Romney did a ton of it when he was getting ready for the debate. But, I mean, they'll go at each other and they will fact-check each other. And it's easier now. There's only 2 of them up there. It makes it even easier to go count point of
I've been thinking about this a lot, too. And I really don't have a sense for how this is going to go Monday night. I mean, he could lay back, she could lay back, she could go after him, he could go after her, they could go after each other. I imagine over the course of 90 minutes, we'll probably see all 5 sides of that. And maybe ultimately, Howie, it comes back to your original point about, the lasting impression, what will that be? Look, Martha and I we've been previewing this debate for, it seems like forever. I really think that you just circle October 1st on the calendar next week because you'll get 4 days to get over the initial impression and let the lasting impression marinate and sink in. And that's where you're going to find out next Saturday. After 4 days of polling, you'll get a sense as to where this race really is. That's my feeling.
And you've got 8 out of 10 people saying that it won't change their mind either way. So, but those 2 could be the difference in a very tight election. So their work's cut out for them. They're going to have to perform at a very, very high level tomorrow night here.
90 straight minutes. And another key difference people forget, general election, the audience is admonished to be quiet, no hooting and hollering. All right, Bill Hemmer and Martha McCallum, thanks so much. We'll see you later today, actually. Here
Thank you, Howie.